genuinely interested, in debunking and deconstructing these arguments.
Mr. Horowitz and I will be talking about academic freedom tonight. After he is done speaking, there will be a question and answering session with Professor John Ellis. And on behalf of the California College Republicans, please welcome Mr. David Horowitz.
I want to thank you all for coming. I want to particularly thank the Women's Studies Department and the Community Studies Department for confirming my low opinion of them. And for providing, I understand there's a counter event.
He knows, and joining us now is the author of the book, The Professors. So what is the worst school?
The worst school in America is the University of California at Santa Cruz. UCSC has a world-class astronomy department. It's got first-rate physics department. It's got professional schools. The problem at UCSC is the liberal arts college, which is just an indoctrination and recruitment center for far left ideologues.
So I bet right about now, David Horowitz is talking about free exchange of views, academic freedom, and how he's being victimized. In the academia, there's this rich tradition of self-questioning, and every discipline has a democratic representation. They get to sort of decide what direction they want to go themselves, and how Horowitz doesn't want to play in those rules. He wants to do it from the outside, where he has the power of the media, where he has the power of the money, where he can intimidate schools. Who's going to decide what's indoctrination and what's education, right? Who gets to decide? Well, Horowitz does. He's already purposely vague because anything could really be called indoctrination.
You can't get a good education if they're only telling you half the story. All of you know this. I don't care what your politics are. Whole departments on this campus shut out different views. It's bad enough that you only have leftist professors. But in most courses that I've looked at, in women's studies or community studies, probably in politics, you only have one set of textbooks.
Well, I can see straight away that there's one recurring question, David,
Yeah.
and it goes to the question of what are the facts on the ground. I mean, you make generalizations about bias. Some people clearly ask questions that suggest that it isn't as pervasive as you might be implying. How do you actually go about deciding whether it is true or not that there's pervasive bias?
The article I wrote, I interviewed five students. 5 students, no, maybe it was 4 students, and I asked simple questions, like whether they had to read a book that was written by a conservative. And all of them said that they read articles that are brought up in class in order to be attacked. And that may not be a fair sample. I wrote a paper. I didn't say that I made a scientific study. You've been a great audience. I really appreciate it.